What's up, y'all? What's good? Welcome to the What Up Doe Show. It's your boy Damn D, and I am back with another one. Today we're going to be talking about the Detroit Lions. I'm a little late on the start off today, but we are here now. Though it's halftime. The Lions are up, I believe, 28-14 coming to halftime. We are playing against the Chicago Bears, which both teams are coming off of losses from last week. So both teams need W's bad this week. So like I said, I'm waiting for a few people to join in, and then we'll go. Well, we're already here, so the teams are. It's been a pretty good first half thus far. The Lions' offense definitely has picked back up from where it left off last season. Week one we looked horrible. Offensively and defensively. This week we've turned around the offense. They went out and put 28 points up the first half. Looking like the Lions of last year, you know what I mean? And the defense looked pretty good this week also too. Joseph Kirby had interception in the first half. So here we go. We are here at the second half. So I need for you guys to like, comment, subscribe, and share. We are back, with another one. Coming off a great fight last night between Terrence Crawford and Canelo. I want to congratulate Crawford for winning his championship last night. It was definitely a good show. A good fight last night. But we are here. We are back rooting on these Lions today. So the chat is open. I need for you guys to come on in and interact with me on that. I'm a little hoarse today from last night. But we're back. But yeah, man. It's from what a week off what a week makes after that loss that we took last week. Jared Goff was 16 for 21. I have to go back. They glanced it so fast, but we looked at totally different this week than what we did last week, and it's totally showed off. Like I said to last week, I'm like, we definitely will have to get back to the drawing board early, bright. Monday. The offensive and defensive coordinators had to, probably sit down with Dan Campbell and talk about, what they did and did not do, last week. But so far this week, we've been looking good. I think we made giving up a few deep plays to the receiver. Onsay, he's for Chicago. He's pretty good though. But other than that, we're looking good. The defense has, I believe, 2 turnovers this week. We had no turnovers last week, and that, that pretty much what did it. We're used to having turnovers and just being scrappy. And last week we just did not look like Lions of old. But we are back. Caleb Williams had a pretty good first half. Besides that pick, he was 14 for 19 for 136 yards, 2 touchdowns in the pick. At the end of the first half, but. Here we go. So Chicago gets the ball coming out this second half. Caleb's coming out of the shotgun. Okay, it's a penalty. But yeah, man, we are back. The Lions are looking good. Hopefully we'll be able, to continue what we did this first half and into the second half and work on things that we need to work on during this game. Because it's still early. It's only 14-28. This game is far from over. Chicago does have an explosive offense. I love Onsay. He's the rookie Onsay. He's been catching everything. He has, I believe, the 2 touchdowns that Chicago do have in the first half. Okay, so here we go. 1st and 15 from Chicago 25. Okay, and Swift had a pretty decent first half. Ex-Detroit Lions running back. So it's always good to, see, and him and our running back switch because we have our running we got the running back that Chicago used to have a few years ago, and why can't I think of his name? But yeah, it's been a pretty good game thus far from the Lions. Their offensive put out has tremendously turned around since last week. Everybody's been involved this week. Okay, here we go. 3rd and 9. Okay, incomplete. All right, so Lions come out there with good, solid defense this second half and 3 and out. But yeah, man, I just want to see you see us work on the things that we were working on last year. That I mean, I just want us to leave off where we left off last year. Because last week we looked horrible. We couldn't run a no passing routes. My wide receivers, besides the rookie, he looked good, and he caught another spectacular pass. At the end of the first half. Okay, Raymond on the kick return. Okay. Okay, so we get the ball back. After 3 and out in Chicago in their first possession, this second half. Jared Goff, they definitely went and talked to that, had a talk with that offensive line and got them together quick, because what a week makes, far as just trying to get everybody back on the same page, because that offensive line looked horrible last week. I believe Jared Goff was sacked 4 times. So they're definitely looking good. And I'm waiting on Big Hen to come and join me and commentate with me on this game. So, but yeah, we totally looking we looking good. This week it's been a turnaround from last week's horrible output offensively and defensively. We let Green Bay, in which Green Bay is actually a good team. They went out there last week and beat the team that we lost to in the playoffs last week, which was Washington. So they're not no scrubs or nothing like that, but that was a game that we should have had. We were in that game all the way into the end, so we just had to work on a few things and just get some things together, which it looks like we got things together this week. So I just want to continue to work on things that we need to work on during this game, because this game is far from over. Yep. So I just hopefully, we get to work on, like I said, a lot of things that we was not able to work on. We have a new offensive coordinator, and sometimes it takes players a while to be able to adjust. And I, pretty much think that what was going on with us last week. Sound like I'm hearing that. Yep. So let me know what you guys started at first half. Tell me what you think of the numbers that Jared Goff put up and how that offensive line looked. I think this half we need to get to running a little bit. We did not run as much as we should have the first half, even though the offense looked great. But I think Jahmyr Gibbs need to get a little. I think we just need to get that running game going a little bit. But here we go again. Okay. Oh, that's touchdown, baby. I thought he had it. Okay. Jared to J-Mo. Man, I thought he was getting ready to go all the way. But we got a few people watching. I need for you guys to like, comment, subscribe, and share. Tell me what you think, how the Lions look from this week, from last week. The first half, they put up great numbers. Hopefully they can continue to do that this second half. The comments section is open. Definitely comment down below. Interact with me. Let me know what are you thinking. How the Lions look. They look pretty good this first half. We just need to get the running game going a little bit. They definitely been mixing it up. Yeah, they definitely mixing it up. Giving pass running plays to Amon-Ra. He had a great first half. They're trying to get J-Mo involved on the long ball. which they did on that first possession we just had on this possession. But Amon-Ra has 6 catches, 100 yards, and a touchdown already, in basically in the first half. Okay, here we go. 2nd and 9 from the 10. Wow, it's a big loss. I got a question to ask. Jahmyr Gibbs was number 26. Why did he switch his number to 0? And I noticed that last week. I don't know if it has anything to do with the whole signing thing, but I know he was number 26. Somebody comment and let me know, why did he change his number from 0 to 26? Okay, so we just took a 9-yard loss on a run play. Goff need to get rid of that. Okay, we sending out the field goal unit. All right, well, Chicago defense start us out on this drive, but Bates just put up a 25-yard field goal to give us a 31-14 lead. So I can't complain about the offense this week. We're looking good. We're running on all cylinders. Like I said, it's been a tremendous turnaround from last week, from how we look offensively and defensively. This week we're looking like how we looked last season. So they definitely, that week that we had off to get everything back together and practice did a lot. Both teams are coming off losses from last week. So, both teams are hungry. So this makes this for a good team. You know what I mean? So, and even with the loss last week, Green Bay showed that, they're a pretty good team, and they have a really good defensive team, especially with bringing over Michael Parsons from Dallas, because they went out and beat the Washington Redskins. Washington. Washington. I forget their new name, but they went out and beat Washington this past week, who had a pretty good, pretty decent team. But I'm hearing the echo. I don't know why I keep hearing that. Yeah, but yeah, it's been a pretty good first half. Hopefully we can continue to put up numbers, and like I said, I want to see the running game get going this second half. We have to make up for what we did not do last week. And then I feel like we will be complete. But hold on, give me a second. I got to see why I keep hearing this echo. I feel like we will be complete. Okay, that's why. Yeah, but yeah, we'll be all right, man. We had a off game last week. The offense is definitely got it going this week. Everybody is looking good. Like I said, we just got to get this running game going, and we'll be okay. Yep. So give me your opinion. Like I said, the chat is open. Comment down below. Tell me, what do you think the Lions offense and defense is looking like? Calvin Shepard definitely got the defense going this week. The week last week was a horrible game offensively and defensively, but it's been a big turnaround from last week to this week. They're running on all cylinders, offensively and defensively. So I have no complaints. Besides the few catches that we gave up in the first half to Chicago's rookie receiver, which he's a great wide receiver, Anseh. So like I said, we just need to work on getting this running game going. getting Montgomery and Gibbs rolling. Okay, here's Caleb Williams coming out on his next possession. He's 14 for 20 for 136 yards, 2 touchdowns and an interception. Okay, so here he is, 1st and 10 from his 30. Out of the shotgun. Let's get him. Okay, he just took off running, picked up a 1st down. Come on. Come on, Anilone. You know, it's like our middle, boy. It's something about the middle on the run game and the passing game. It's just always open. We have to keep someone covering that middle at all times because Green Bay exposed our middle, which that's been going on for years. Okay, another running play to Swift, which was Kirby on the tackle, maybe a yard. Okay, 2nd and 6 from the 45. Come on, there we go. Finally get some pressure on the quarterback. And it looked like we got a player hurt. Wow. Come on. Davenport is hurt on the sack. He got the sack, but was injured on the play. Hopefully he's okay. Looked like Caleb Williams may have fell on his arm. Come on. You know, but nonetheless, we got the sack. Yeah, no sacks in last week's game. So we finally getting a little pressure to the quarterback this week. Following his sack of Caleb Williams, who was brought down a lead time 68 times the season ago. He's been trying to get better at it. As Marcus Davenport is able to actually hit up now, which is good. That's encouraging, but okay, so he's getting up and he's running off the field, so that's a good look. All right. Oh, you look like you might be all right. Brings up a 3rd and long, but going back to Shepherd. Yeah, the most defensive coordinator in this thing, but I'm not going to have to cut my breaks. Okay, here we go. 3rd and 14 from the 30. Another penalty. Okay. Replay. So yeah, man, you know what a difference a week makes on in practice trying to get your team offensively and defensively back together. You know, we lost our offensive coordinator and our defensive coordinator all in the same year, you know. So, you know, the first week we look horrible, but you know, it looks like we're getting it together in this game. There we go. A little bit more pressure on the quarterback. That boy got a little speed to him. So he picked up most of the yards that he lost on the last play, but they still have to punt the ball. Oh, they're going for it. Okay. Ben Johnson taking a little bit of tricks from Dan Campbell. This will be his 2nd time going for it. The first time that they went for it in this game, they were stopped. So they may try to draw the Lions off sides. The clock is getting down, so they're going to have to call a timeout. Right, exactly. So they went for it on the first half on 4th and 1 and was stopped. So here we go again. 4th and 5. I mean, they taking a big chance. 4th and 5. I got to see where the ball is actually at. All right, here we go. 4th and 5 from their 45-yard line. Pass is picked off. Incomplete. There we go. Wow. Good defense. Arnold. See, and a lot of teams are picking on him because he was picked on a lot last week. Good defense. Way to redeem yourself, baby. Yes, I thought that was going to be a pick. Calvin Shepard is out there excited. Yeah, so like I said, what a difference of weeks of practice makes for the defense and offense. Both sides are rolling on all cylinders this week. We look good, so we just need to continue, with this offense and this defense. And like I said, now we just got to work on getting this running game going. We got to work on getting Gibbs going. We hit our tight ends a few times on the first half. We definitely want to continue to keep feeding him the ball. We've got J-Mo going a little bit. We definitely got Amon-Ra St. Brown been going the first half. Tesla, he's caught another tremendous pass in the first half. So we've been kind of rolling on all cylinders. Like I said, we just got to get Montgomery and Gibbs rolling, and I feel like the offense, is a little bit more complete this week. But yeah, let me know what you guys thought about that fight last night. It was a tremendous fight. Like I said, I want to congratulate Terrence Crawford on another win, a 3-time champion in 3 different divisions. He's definitely a Hall of Famer. He definitely can write his own ticket, and he can punch the balance now. It was a tremendous fight, and the undercard was a great fight. It was just an all-around a good show. And that's what, that's what boxing, is all about. We broadcasted live. We was on air, I believe, for like 4.5 hours yesterday, with you guys. So over here at the What Up Dope Show, we trying to make sure that, we putting out good entertainment, trying to entertain you guys and just putting out good content, you know what I mean? And we right back at it again today, with the Lions game. I was not able to catch the first half. I had to drop some stuff off to my granddaughter. I dropped some school clothes off for this week. So I got up. I was like I said, I didn't go to bed last night until around 6 o'clock this morning. So I got up around 11. Was a little tired, so I had to go drop her clothes off. But here we go. Detroit is back out there on their second possession this second half. They give the ball to Gibbs. There we go. Pick up about 4. Okay, back to Gibbs. Maybe lost 2 on that play. Okay, look like I might have a message. Let me see. Okay, 3rd and 8 from the 55. He's going deep. Got J-Mo open. Touchdown. Bam. Jamison Williams, I should say. Deep. See, and that's what we got to do. You know, we look like we still got Ben Johnson back there calling plays for us. He was wide open. 14-37. You know, 6:22 left in the third quarter. Lions are rolling. Rolling. Being up here. See where you at. Invite some people up in here. Come on in and join your boy. You know, let me know what you think about this weekend. Like I said, what a difference a week of practice makes. I'm gonna try to get BJ3 in here with us too. We can actually talk about the game and the fight last night. See what BJ3 up too. Yep. So you know the Lions is rolling. It's a good thing. So like I said, only thing that I see that we need to work on this week is getting Jahmyr Gibbs and that running game going. And I don't know why I always keep I'm not gonna say forgetting Montgomery name, but yeah, we definitely need to get him and Montgomery going. You know, because they're definitely an important part to this offense. You know, with them rolling, the team rolls right along. Send my dog D Craw invite. See if he want to come on in and chop it up with us. I'm gonna try to see if I can get my dog Londale Bright in here. He might be off today. Insurance isn't the same as having state farm. It's not maybe the experience of the trainer. Okay, so I sent a few invites out to people. Hopefully we'll get more people in to be able to join in on this conversation on the discussion. You know, but I definitely love the matchups the NFL is doing this year. You know, like I said, I don't think there will be any undefeated teams by the end of week 3. Because of the scheduling, you know what I mean? It's a good thing, you know, it makes the league, it makes the competition a little stiffer, you know, and it kind of evens out things. Yep, so but yeah, man, these Lions are rolling. They're looking good. You know, it's been a big turnaround from last week to this week. You know, give me your thoughts. Let me know how you think this offense is clicking. The defense is even looking good. You know, and it's always a good thing to get, your young guys going. You know, J-Mo is rolling. You know, he's having a great first half. He didn't have a good game last week. You know, St. Brown is having a great game. You know, now, like I said, we just need to get Montgomery and Gibbs rolling, you know, just and feed our tight ends a little bit more, too, to keep them involved. Okay, so here's Chicago's coming out for their third offensive possession this second half. Okay, so it was a fumble loss, an interception, 2 turnovers on down, 6 penalties, 35 yards. You know, so those been the Chicago Bears miscues of today. You know, which you can give the credit to the Detroit Lions defense for all those miscues. But here we go, 1st and 10 from the 30. Caleb Williams out of the shotgun. A lot of Detroit pressure. Pass to incomplete pass. Hey, that pressure is coming. I want to see Hutchinson get that first sack. It's gonna be it will be lovely to see him get this first sack here at home today. You know, because before he got injured last year, he was leading the league in sacks. You know, and went out. You know, but I definitely want to see him back. You know, to that form that he was 2 years ago. All right, here we go. 2nd and 10 from Chicago's 30. Out to shotgun. Pass complete to pass complete. First down, Chicago. Okay, the Bears are in a hurry up offense. You know, trying to get their offense going. Penalty. 2 flags. Look like this will be a holding maybe on Chicago. Ooh, Hutchinson looked like he might be hurt. Oh my gosh. Yeah, all right, he's still out there. Okay, we about to see what happened to Hutch. Oh yeah, he got chop blocked. Ooh, his leg got fucking caught up. Oh my god. Okay, let me see his Hutch still out there. Yeah, his knee got rolled up. The same leg that was hurt, but he's still out there. Got another sack. There we go, baby. You know, I'm just out there looking at Hutch, trying to make sure he's all right. You know, but Muhammad just came in and got his first sack of the season. Okay, yeah. So Hutch is okay. You know, that was a little scare on that last play. You know, because his leg got rolled up under. Pass incomplete. Okay, you got 3rd and 34 coming up. You know, I think Hutch had the pressure. Oh, that should have been a catch. Andusa, yeah, and he's been catching everything. You know, finally dropped a big pass today. You know, but I definitely like him. Chicago, whether they win this game or not, you know, they definitely has a bright future. You know, with the offense, Ben Johnson to get those guys going. You know, just not on our time, not on our watch. We need this win. Come on, let's get him. Oh, he just throwing balls up now. Okay. He just pretty much threw it up and threw it away. You know, but that was a great defensive stop for Detroit again. I just like I said, it was a little scare with Hutchinson getting that knee rolled up under. You know, but the pressure, Muhammad, boy, he's putting pressure. Mm. Yeah, Hutch still limping. Yeah, he looked like he hurting bad. Good punt, you know. But yeah, Hutch leg was rolled up by on a few plays ago, and it didn't. He was able to stay out there, but he limped off to the field on this last series. You know, so hopefully they'll be able to get him together, ice him up, you know, and he'll be all right. You know, but he walked off limping. Well, he didn't walk off; he was limping off the field. He looks to be okay. Okay, he seems to be okay. So yeah, Lions back on offense. Here we go. 1st and 10 from our 15. We just need to get Montgomery and Gibbs rolling. Play action. There we go. Like I said, getting the tight ends involved. I like that. Jared Goff is rolling. 13 straight completions. The run game, I'm not going to say the run game is going, but we definitely got to get the run game going. The passing game is definitely going. Offensive line looking great this week. After looking horrible, giving up 4 sacks to Green Bay's defense last week. All right, here we go. 1st and 10 from the 25. Okay, there we go. Montgomery picked up another 1st down. See, that's flag on the play. $13-yard gain for Montgomery, but we're waiting to see what this flag is about. Okay, 1st down. So 13-yard pickup for Montgomery. And I've been saying that, we got to get this running game going. We got to get Montgomery the ball. And we got to get Gibbs the ball. Okay, here we go. 1st and 10. Goff out of the shotgun from the 40. Okay, another handoff to Montgomery. Pick up about 4 or 5. They say they want to be the best running back duo of all time, and they definitely have a chance to do that. 2 young, great running backs. Okay, there go Gibbs. He gone. He might be gone. There we go. See, that's what I'm talking about. I've been calling it. Yeah. That boy is fast. Gone. He remind me of me. That boy is lightning fast. But let's keep feeding. Okay, here we go. 1st and 10 from the 15. Right back to Montgomery. Pick up about maybe 3. But Detroit is rolling. Last week against we had 50 yards. Today we already have 77 yards from scrimmage. And that was Jahmyr Gibbs. Sorry about that. That was what he had last week. And it's 14:38, 40 seconds left in the 3rd quarter. We still have a full quarter left, and it looked like this is getting ready to maybe be a touchdown. Ooh, wide receiver screen and St. Brown, out of bounds. But we've gotten everybody involved this week, from Gibbs to Montgomery to St. Brown. J-Mo got a touchdown. I believe St. Brown has a touchdown. We just got to get our tight ends, like I said, involved. One of our tight ends just caught and passed, but we got to get our other tight end. We got to get him a touchdown. Okay, and it's the end of the 3rd quarter, going into the 4th quarter. You know, we rolling on all cylinders. This is the Lions I know. 38-14 going into the fourth quarter. What a game. What up, though, Joe? 313, baby. They looking good. They looking real good, man. Yep. And yeah, 313. This shirt right here, this was made by the Lions Den. You know, if you want a shirt like this, he just had a new lineup of shirts that just came out this week. I'll probably have that, you know, on for next week game. But you know, get with his name is Gabe. He's the designer. And the name of the clothing brand is Lions Den. You can reach get with him on. He's on Instagram. You know, so definitely get with him. It's a good quality shirt. You know, definitely quality. I think I'm probably going to go with a size smaller this time. This was a 2X. It fits good, but you know, even when I watch it, the quality of the shirt, it may not even shrink. You know, that's how good the quality is of this shirt. But what's going on, Joe? Joseph knows. 313, baby. Let me put a comment back in there. Yep. So hey, we rolling on all cylinders. I have no complaints. About the offense and the defense. Like I said, what a difference a week makes of practice. You know, of them getting things together. You know, because the first game of the week last week, we looked horrible. We looked like we were the Detroit of when we was 0-16 last week. You know, but we definitely got it together quick. You know, and we needed a game like this. We needed Chicago to come in after that loss, you know, to Green Bay that, you know, that we should have had. You know, and I can't wait to see Green Bay again, you know, so that's going to make for a great game. You know, because Green Bay right now is rolling. They just beat up on Washington this past week. You know, but here we go. Detroit has put up 14 first quarter, 14 second quarter, and 10 the third quarter. Shut the Bears out in the third quarter. You know, but here we go. You know, and we're threatening to score starting off in this fourth quarter. We're on the 3rd and 5 on the 10. Oh, that's touchdown, St. Brown. There we go. Bam. Wow, he just hurt himself. Oh, okay. Them and them acting plays. Wow, I thought he hurt himself. Man, don't be scaring me like that. That scared me. I thought he hurt himself. Dude, that's touchdown. But yeah, the celebration play was a play where he celebrated and act like he was hurt. I thought he was actually hurt. He fooled me. He was act like he pulled a hamstring. You know, what great choreography they have, and you know, and the touchdown celebrations. You know, it's a great thing for the for the home crowd, for the fans. You know, for the players to be involved in interacting with, you know, the fans like that. You know, but Jared Goff is looking great this game, I should say. I believe this is St. Brown's second touchdown of the game. No, I definitely want to take my hats off so far to you know, all the coaches. You know, everybody did their thing. Everybody played their roles. You know, now I just want to get out of this game injury free. You know, hopefully, you know, Hutch is okay. We'll be able to see him. They're getting ready to go back there out there on defense. 14-45. Like I said, the chat is open. Comment down below. That was a hell of a catch. Hey, that rookie we got, he made another spectacular catch in the first half. You know, I definitely want to see him get out there and get more plays thrown his way because he deserves it. You know, especially for that catch that he made in Green Bay last week and did that another catch that he made again here in the first half. You know, definitely he has a lot of talent and a lot of skills. You know, and I would love to, see him out there a little bit more catching balls. You know, but we're so deep, at the receiving group, he may not get a chance to get out there as much. All right, it's a flag down. But yeah, I need for you guys to like, comment, subscribe, and share. Tell me what you think about this week of offense and defense from the Lions. Like I said, it's been a tremendous turnaround from last week to this week. What a difference weeks make. Okay, New York on top of Dallas in the fourth quarter, 2023. Okay, Bears from the 40, nothing. Maybe a 2-3 yard pickup. All right, here we go. 2nd and 8, Chicago from their 40. Another sack. Hutch is out there too. So he seems to be okay. He out there. Hey, Brian Branch is up in there. He's been playing tough today. He got a strip ball today. Got a hit. A fumble, forced fumble, I should say, on defense. A loss for tackle. You know, the defense been looking good. 3rd and 15. Wow. It's a flag on the play, though. I'll tell you what, that Onsay receiver they got for Chicago rookie, he's a great receiver. They got, they're going to be okay. 30-yard reception. Wow. I don't know. Oh yeah, he had to. He got caught on the slip. Yeah, he got caught slipping, so he had to put hands on him to slow him up because other than that may have been a touchdown. So good defense. Okay, here we go. Chicago from the 30. Pickup of about 8. You know, we still got a full fourth quarter left. All right, here Chicago go. 1st and 10 from the 20. Got a sack. Hutch got his first sack. He got his sack. That's what I wanted to see. Okay, so we got Hutch's sack. All right, there go again. Another pick. Terry and Arnold. Flag on the play, though. Let's see what's going to happen. Okay, it's coming back. Wow. Yeah, it's coming back. Wow. And they just be they be calling these soft ass plays now. No, I understand trying to protect the quarterback, but come on. Wow. All right, come on, defense. Hold them to a field goal or get another pick. Hmm. Okay, pass, incomplete pass. A little low, but he should have caught that. All right, here we go. 2nd and 10. Second and 10 from the 15. Out of the shotgun. Pass complete. Duce with a catch. Short of the first, a yard short of the first down. All right, here we go. And then probably no matter what, if they don't make it on here, they're definitely going to go for it on 4th. Out of the eye to the running back, touchdown. All right, we gave up a touchdown. DeAndre Swift, ex-Lion for the touchdown. Okay, so 20-45 still, 11 minutes and 45 seconds left in this game. Pretty much still a whole 4th quarter. And the Lions pretty much don't put up 50. All right, extra point is good. 21-45. All right, there we go. But like I said, everything that I said we needed to work on this week, we definitely worked on them. Everyone looked good. We've gotten the running backs involved. Montgomery looked decent this game. Gibbs looked great. The wide receiving core was excellent. The defense even looked good this week. We just gave up a big penalty for a touchdown, but other than that, the defense looked great. I have no complaints at all. From this game. So now from here, Hutch got his first sack. I believe the defense have 4 sacks from the game, maybe 5. We look good this week. So hopefully we can take this game and start something special like we did last week and at this game start something good for leading going off into next week's game. Because we're going to have to take it game by game. Most teams are going to come, now since teams know who we are, we're going to come with pretty much targets on our back. So we have to be on our A game every game. And this is something that, the players must know and should know. Yep. So I'm definitely satisfied with the offensive coordinator this week. I'm satisfied with the defensive coordinator this week. We've gotten pressure to the quarterback. Last week we didn't get any pressure, no sacks. The defense looked horrible. They were throwing balls all up and down the field. Our middle was horrible. It was a 180-degree turnaround from last week game to this week's game. So it's interesting to see how the rest of this game is going to go with us being up 21-45. Will Dan start sitting if it starts or leave everybody out there, the rest for the full game, I should say. Chicago might be going for the offsides, it looked like. Because they have to declare for it. So, there they are. Which we picked it up. Robert Porcher was honored today at halftime. Barry Sanders. What up, Porcher? I remember Robert Porcher. Great defensive end for the Lions. 1992 to 04. I remember him too. Huge smile. Really enjoyed watching him play. Megatron, Calvin Williams. I was just listening to one of the commentators talking about how they tried to double up on Calvin Williams. Sam Laporta on the play. That's what we need. Okay, right. On the play, but how they tried to double down and stop Calvin Williams, by doubling him the whole game, and he still ended up with over 220 something yards. Megatron was that guy. Yeah, it's a big difference. Last week we scored 13. This week 45. And we'll probably still score some more, with it being over 11 minutes left in the fourth. All right, Gibbs. Pick up about 20. Come on, Gibbs. Okay. Let's go, baby. That boy is so fast, it's ridiculous. Yeah, that's what I said. We have not even called Sam Laporta's name. We got to get Sam on the board, which they have right out there. So I don't know what's going on with Sam. Montgomery up the middle, pick up about 4 or 5. Great game coming up next. My Chiefs against the 1-0 Eagles. So that's going to be a great game to watch, and I'm actually going to sit back and watch that game. All right, right back to Montgomery. Maybe a pickup of 1. Yeah, both teams were coming in 0-1. This game was who wanted this game the most, because the loser would be going 0-2, and that's not a good look starting off the season for Chicago. Okay, right back to Montgomery, maybe a loss of 1. Okay, 4th and goal. Why wouldn't they pass the ball? Look like they keeping Goff out there. So it looks like they're going to keep the offense out there and go for it on 4th down, 4th and goal. Yep. Oh, touchdown again, St. Brown. Wow. There we go. That was too easy. Oh, Jared Goff even jumped in. Yeah, they said they going, they celebrating. Yeah, they got Jared Goff jumping in the stands. Yeah, it's definitely it was a good game. That probably was the last drive you'll see Jared Goff on. $52-21 after this extra point is good, which is good. 52-21, 7 minutes and 58 seconds left in the 4th quarter. The Lions offense is rolling. I think they're trying to make up from last week after scoring only 13 points. Yeah. I got a good friend of mine, Tom, who's probably watching this game, who's probably not happy with the outcome, this game. But, don't get it twisted. Chicago is a good team. They have a bright future. They just played against a really good team today, who needed to win, just as bad as they needed to win. That's all. Yeah, but we definitely needed this game. It's good to see the Lions, come out and, put these numbers up on the board. We needed that. The offense looked horrible. The defense looked horrible. The boys can hang their heads high today after this W. I'm gonna go and look and see. Well, I'll do that after the game. See who we got, who we're playing against next week. Hopefully, we have another home game, meaning that we open it up on the road. Unless they're going to do, off and on. These commercials are crazy. But yeah, man, comment down below. Let me know what you guys think about this game. The Lions was running on all cylinders today, offensive and defensive. I need something to drink. My throat is dry. But we look really good this week. I believe we may have scored on all possessions besides maybe 2. But Detroit, the offense was rolling. They look good. We're back. And like I said, what a difference a week makes, of practicing and getting everybody together on the same page, because last week we were not on the same page. We the offensive line looked horrible. We gave up 5 sacks. And this week I believe we got 5 sacks on the offense. Yeah, so we are back. Jared Goff couldn't even jump up in there. But it's good to see the players out there having fun. Last week was horrible. But here we go on the kickoff. There we go. Yeah, man. Everybody did their thing today. Yeah, everybody's smiling, everybody's laughing. You know, that's what it's about. Everybody's smiling. The offense may be done for the rest of the night. We don't put up 52 points. I believe that may be offsides on a penalty on the Bears. False start. They're not even gonna call it. Okay. Jared Goff started off 6 for 11, 103 yards in the first half, one touchdown in the second half, 17 for 17. They put it up so quick it went away, but he's having a great game. I believe 5 touchdowns. Looked like Campbell might have been hurt on that play. Oh wow. They took Caleb Williams out, which the game is over with anyway, so there's no need for him to really be out there to get hurt. Wow, Branch is hurt. Yeah, I hope Branch is okay, man. You know, and that's one thing I said. I just want to get out of this game injury free with no, major injuries to any players. You know, so Brian Branch is hopefully he'll be able to be okay. All right, look like he may be okay. He's walking off. Russell Wilson. New York on top of Dallas 30-27, but Dallas has the ball and driving. But yeah, man, like I said, I just wanted to get out of this game injury free without any of our starters, getting hurt. Brian Branch was able to walk off the field under his own power, so hopefully he'll be okay. He'll be able to go next week. But here we go. Chicago has the ball, 3rd and 9. Didn't get it. Okay, so the punt team should be coming out. I'm gonna say I know they're not going for it deep down there. So they're getting ready to punt the ball back to us. So my question is, the offense, the starters should be out of there. Definitely we should not see Jared Goff, no more of this game. None of the starters really. I don't want to see anybody else getting hurt. The game is pretty much over with. Wow. That was a big hit. Yeah, the defense definitely played good. They had takeaways today. Maybe 2 picks. No, well, 1 pick, 1 forced fumble. and a couple of stops on fourth down. Okay, which I figured Goff did not come out, so we have our second string quarterback in. Okay, so yeah, pretty much the starters are out of there. It was a pretty good game from the Lions offensively and defensively. These are the Lions that we're used to seeing. It was a great game. We still have 5 minutes and 40-some seconds left, but we should be able to run most of the clock out on this drive right here. We're at our own 32nd and 9. Yeah, we definitely beat up on the Bears today. Flag down. Flag on Detroit. Offsides on Detroit.
It's a little insight to training camp and why he doesn't play the starters during preseason. He says he do a lot of scrimmages in training camp. He says you get a better look from those starters so that you play in the preseason and they come in fresh. They come in fresh for Green Bay, they kind of get slapped around. You don't know who
All right, handoff. Maybe 2-3 yards. So pretty much we're just trying to run the clock out, get to the end of this game. The starters are out. Okay, Jameer had 12 rushes for 94 yards, a touchdown. Jared Goff was 23 for 28 yards. Wow, 334 yards. 5 touchdowns, no picks. Amon-Ra St. Brown had 9 catches, 115 yards with 3 touchdowns, a career high in touchdowns today. So, the offense definitely was rolling. I would have loved to see Gibbs with a few more carries to put him over 100 yards, but, that was a pretty decent game. Okay, so we were putting the ball back to Chicago. He's sticking out of bounds at the 15-yard line. So, but yeah, man, the offense definitely was rolling. We got a great game that's getting ready to come up next between the NFL champions of last year, the Philadelphia Eagles, versus Kansas City, the Kansas City Chiefs. It's going to be a great game, and it looks like it's going to be in Kansas City. So this should be a barn burner. I'm definitely getting ready to watch that game next and sit back and relax and enjoy the rest of the day. I just want to come in and, commentate this game, give you guys some live, commentary action, over watching the game today. Chicago from the 15, quarterback running out of bounds. So, but yeah, I just want to come in and, cover this game today and go over, a few things, a few talks of how we looked last week versus this week. We look great. The offense is rolling. The defense even looked great. They were rolling. We had 2 takeaways. And just the defense just looked great. Hutch got his first sack. I believe we had five sacks total from the Detroit defense today. Yep. So Ben Johnson is going to start the season off 0-2. See, and this is the playoff percentage. 1-1 is 42% chance to make the playoffs. If you start 0-2, that gives you a 12% chance to make the playoff percentage, and that goes back to since 1990. So if we would have started the season off 0-2, that would have gave us a 12% chance to make the playoffs, and that's pretty. You're pretty much not going to make the playoffs. Not saying that it can't be done, because if you have a great coach, a great quarterback, you can still possibly make the playoffs with, okay, just say for instance, with a team like Kansas City, if they was to go and lose this game and go down 0-2, they still has a great chance to make the playoffs. It just all depends on who's your quarterback, who's your coach, but a team like Chicago, it's going to be rough, because they're dealing with a second-year quarterback in Caleb Williams, first-year head coach, and Ben Johnson. Okay, we're down to 3 minutes remaining in the game. We're just trying to get out of this game injury-free. I don't want to see any players hurt on either side. This game is over with. Man, can I start yawning? Like I said, I was up late last night. We commentated for that fight for like over 4 hours. I didn't end up going to bed last night until like 6 in the morning. And was back up today. Commentating and streaming this game. But I want to say what's up to all my Facebook family and friends over there. We're streaming live on Facebook, and we're also streaming live. I want to say what up though to all my subscribers over on YouTube. I want to thank everyone who has subscribed to the channel thus far. We're over here on the mission. We're trying to meet the criteria and the goals that we have to meet over on Facebook, and I want to say this to a lot of my Facebook family and friends, I definitely need for you guys to make sure that you're going over to the channel, because I put a lot of stuff, all of my stuff up on Facebook also, but it helps when you go over to my actual channel, and watch it and give me view time hours and things like that, but for the most part, I want to thank everybody who has watched my content, who's reached out, who made comments, who's interacted, with me. I want to say thank you to everybody. Like I said, we're just over here trying to, give you guys good entertainment, and also just trying to, raise the awareness of our people too, with some of the conversations and topics we have. But just overall, just trying to, entertain you guys and put out good information and great information. I try to do it all over here. I try to do a little bit of sports, a little bit of my own topics, current events and things like that too. Yeah. I want to give a shout out to my little cousin Shannon Lee, who helped me commentate last night fight. He had a great mind on the boxing game. He was pretty much on it. He knew everything. I was surprised on the knowledge that he knew, in boxing, but I was not surprised, meaning that, he is the grandson of my uncle, the great late Keith Lee Sr., so I want to thank you again, Shannon Lee, for joining me last night, on this show. You did an excellent job on commentating. You pretty much you did the whole show with me. It was a great time. We had a great conversation, great talk. We were able to entertain the people for, like I said, well, I was on there for at least 4.5 hours, so, I'm just trying to put up good entertainment, for the folks, for my peoples. Here we go. 1st and 10, Chicago, up the middle, nothing on that run. Maybe a pickup of 2 or 3. But yeah, Shannon did a great job on, speaking. I was impressed by how much knowledge that he had in the sport, him being so young, but age really doesn't matter. It's all about, it's just all about, the knowledge and, being aware of certain things. And, he was up on it. He knew Crawford's offense, Canelo defense. He knew what words to say, just everything. So I was just impressed on, his whole conversation last night. It was a good time. I had a great time. I enjoyed, the rest of my guests that also came on there. I think Big Hen, Q Nitty came on for a little bit. Real Talk with Big Dave. He also joined the show too. But like I said, overall, last night was a great time. It was a great fight. The prelims were great. We had 3 great fights leading up to the main event, and the main event, it did not let us down. Crawford put on a great show. Okay, Chicago still trying to get that ball in there. We're down to the last 30 seconds of the game. But Chicago definitely, has a bright future too now. But definitely, they'll be turning things around. They just got to go back to the drawing board. But this game is over with. It was a great game, great calling game from all coaches on the Lions side, from Dan Campbell to his offensive coordinator to the defensive coordinator. Everybody did their jobs today, and it was just a great game. I'm proud of the guys. They definitely, came back and did their thing. So, they're getting ready to pass the game is getting ready to. Okay, they're showing us the end game of Dallas and in New York. Great game, 37-34, 7 seconds left. So it looks like Dallas is trying to get in field goal range. But yeah, like I said, it was a great game for Detroit. We rode on all cylinders, offense and defensively. I have no complaints. I want to, congratulate, the team on the first win of the season. I don't have anything else to add. I need for you guys to make sure that you hit that like button, you share, and if you was not subscribed, hit that subscribe button. It helps the channel grow. We're trying to, get to a certain amount of goals this month. So we need you guys to make sure that you're hitting that subscribe button and you're sharing the content. So it was another one. I enjoyed the game. It's your boy Dame D, and I am out. Peace.